Right now, 44% of Americans are breathing dangerously polluted air. In California, that number jumps to 82%. Federal rollbacks on emission standards are projected to cause 14,000 premature deaths and $145 billion in cumulative health impacts by the year 2050. Behind these alarming public health statistics lie massive economic time bombs that remain completely invisible to modern risk dashboards. Traditional corporate ledgers only track direct operational costs. They lack the visibility to detect the financial chain reactions triggered the moment an employee or a customer takes a breath of toxic air. To see how this invisible ledger operates, look at California's Inland Empire. Exhaust from dense highway traffic and industrial warehouses reacts with heat and sunlight, creating massive spikes in ground-level ozone and fine particulate matter. These particles are small enough to enter the bloodstream directly. For a local child, a spike in pollution quickly triggers a severe asthma attack. This diagram shows the economic cascade. A parent stays home, resulting in an unpaid utility bill. The utility writes off the debt, raising electricity rates for a nearby data center. Surging costs pause expansion, choking off tax revenue and school funding. This entire sequence is driven by fragmented rationality. The parent, the utility, and the data center operator all acted logically according to their own isolated balance sheets. By acting rationally in a vacuum, these entities guarantee the collapse of the broader system they all rely on. We have invested billions of dollars in environmental monitoring infrastructure, from orbiting satellites to sophisticated ground-level air quality sensors. While agencies like the EPA track pollution spikes with high precision, that environmental data remains disconnected from its economic outcomes. The hospital, the insurer, and the utility track fallout on their own ledgers, but cannot legally share the operational data needed to stop the cascade. Under antitrust laws and privacy frameworks like GDPR, these institutions are legally locked into data silos. Because they are barred from pooling their information, these entities are forced to absorb massive capital losses in the dark. To bypass these legal barriers, we require a coordination layer built on a zero-liability architecture. This relies on household attestation. A family provides secure cryptographic proof of their financial and medical survival gap without exposing raw personal data. When clustered across a geohash and correlated with pollution spikes, these proofs become a predictive economic early warning system. Once that specific cluster reaches a critical mathematical threshold, the protocol automatically deploys defensive capital to stabilize the area. By turning the household into a verifiable economic sensor, we solve the coordination gap without requiring corporations to break privacy laws. Defensive capital flows in three directions. First, microcredits cover household lost wages and utility arrears, instantly stabilizing families. Second, capital funds civic clean air infrastructure, like school filtration and electric fleets. Third, corporate balance sheets receive yields through avoided bad debts and reduced insurance claims. This flow provides direct relief to medical facilities that currently absorb the cost of uncompensated respiratory emergencies. By stopping the chain reaction at the source, this system prevents all entities from absorbing massive downstream losses. Analysis of capital flows across utilities, insurers, and hyperscalers reveals a high return. Every dollar deployed to close a household survival gap prevents $36 in systemic losses. The projected $145 billion impact of dirty air represents money the system is already spending in wasteful, isolated fragments. California demonstrates the current cost of high regulation paired with low coherence. The state has strict rules and constant court battles, yet residents continue to breathe toxic air. The coordination age functions alongside environmental agencies like the EPA, acting as the missing layer that completes the market. We will only solve the air quality crisis when we implement a system that makes dirty air mathematically more expensive to ignore than to fix.